name is Moses Rivera. I go by Mo. I have my wife, Lizette Rivera, and my two wonderful sons, Nathaniel and Matthew Rivera. I grew up, in the church. My grandfather, he was a pastor. So as far as like God, I knew he existed, but I didn't trust him. And I think it's all because of, although my grandfather was an amazing man, but his son, my father, wasn't. This is completely night and day, very contrast. He abused us. There was 3 brothers and 1 sister, so it was 4 in total. Then my youngest came around, but I felt like he singled me out a lot of times. He beat me senseless. I actually recall one time where, in his bedroom, there was like this boxing apparatus. He took the boxing bag out and he hung us upside down. And he went into the kitchen and took a cauldron, and he started putting some cardboard and some newspaper. He took a match, he lit it up. And, my brother and I, we were like asking for forgiveness, and we didn't even know why, but just, help us, He lit up the match, and there was flames, and he'll take like roach spray, and he agitates the flame. And thankfully, we didn't get burned. He took the pot out, and he took a knife, he cut the rope, and we fell down. I fell on my head, my brother fell on his back, I fell on my head, it cracked, and we lay there. I remember like saying to myself, I deserve this, or maybe God, he wants me to go through this pain, or he just hates me. God hates me, my father hates me, and I don't even understand the reason behind that. Time passed by, and more punishments and more creative ways of him like just hurting us grew and grew, and I decided to kind of take this on my own. I trust me. Nobody has my back. Nobody. It's me. So I started like working out obsessively, putting the armor on, started practicing boxing, jiu-jitsu. I'm stronger than whatever anybody could give me, anything. I have control. But in some kind of weird way, I was trying to find validation from him. So I even went to school, got an MBA, had honors, kept on working out, bought a nice car just to get some acknowledgement, to get some understanding that this is my son. This is, he's done well. Married an amazing wife, but I still had fear. I didn't want to get married, but I did get married. I didn't want to have children. That was something I didn't want to do. I completely feared being my father, and I did not want that. But also being the person that I am, I don't allow fear to conquer me. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna just keep on proving to the world that I am a man of determination. So I approached my wife, saying, I think I'm ready to start a family. And in the process, I said to myself, I said, my son is going to be an amazing, amazing person. I'm gonna give him all the resources, gonna be very active with him. I'm gonna show him everything. I am going to boost him in a way that he may be the greatest athlete, the greatest spokesperson, the greatest, I'll give my all to my son. About a year into his, year in his life, my wife and I realized that he wasn't reaching certain milestones. And my wife and I, we were very concerned. We took him to the doctors. And I remember talking to God and praying to him. I said, why are you doing this? You know, I've done everything right. You know, if you look at the scale, I've done more good than bad. I go to church, I do the right thing. You know, and you cheated me. You're gonna cheat me. And the doctor was saying that his prognosis was not favorable to him, not to us. I pray. I said, God, you got let me show your glory to me. And I didn't hear nothing. Just like those days that my father was beating me, the day that he locked me in the closet for like 2 days, no food. My mom used to come and look at the crack and just throw pieces of food underneath the threshold. God wasn't there. I said, I challenged him that. I was using some reverse psychology with God. I said, you know, if you're God, you're gonna do something for my son. Didn't answer me. And I said to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this myself. I trust in me. I trust in me. It's always about me. I'm gonna carry this family. I'm gonna carry my son. I'm gonna do this on my back, and he who's gonna be my trophy. I read to him every day, took him to the tutors. I mean, I grind this kid. And the irony was I was ashamed. And I think my father was ashamed of me for whatever reason, but I was imposing that on my son, so I was becoming just like my pops. I said, you know what, God, you know, it's on you, man. I just can't do this. If you want to work, just, you know, take over, that's fine. But I'm done trusting you. But if you want to do something, fine, go ahead. It's up to you. But, you know, I wasn't gonna give up my son. I wasn't. About 1.5 years ago, my sister passed away from brain cancer. My sister was like very similar to me. She was like, we never see eye to eye. We were constantly in odds. We used to fight. We used to yell. We turned the house upside down. But she actually, before all this, she got baptized. And I recall her sending me a picture of her baptism. And honestly, no matter how many pictures I've taken, how many accolades I received, that was probably the greatest accomplishment, I thought, in my eyes, that anybody could receive, because you're committing yourself completely to God and Jesus. So we started developing a relationship where we had great times. We had laughs. She came to my house. You know, she's missed. But on that day when we buried her, I did see my dad, and my dad was there, and I was kind of like trying to see if he acknowledges me, or, you know, I shake his hand, and then I console my mom, my brothers, my cousins, my uncles, friends. You know, I was there. I was their shoulder to cry on. I was giving them words of encouragement, making sure everything is taken care of, everyone was well. And again, alone, no one there. So after everybody left, I started seeing people dwindle off. I started walking. It was gray for most of the week. It was raining, and all of a sudden there was like this light. And I look in the horizon, and I hear, you know, in my heart, I was like, don't worry. I've always been here. I'm your father. You're my son. I didn't want to get mixed in my emotions. I was like, man, something's happening. I'm gonna brush this off. I was like, you know, come on, man. You've done it all the time. You gotta like just man up and just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. This is just like something like is setting you back, just get back in the grind. And I did, you know, and I started like just grinding it out. I felt good. I felt, you know, like myself. I felt, you know, strong again. I started, you know, putting my old coat on and just feeling very confident. Pastor Chris was talking to us, and he said, hey, I want you to try something new. For the week, just go ahead and sin. And for me, when he said that, of course, I'm like really focused. I'm not gonna like really look at my wife, because if I do, she's gonna probably think I'm gonna do something and just, but I kind of felt like, what is it, you know, like he's completely, this Pastor Chris is delusional. This guy is like, doesn't know what he's talking about. But you know, I was just like, what is he trying to say in that message? I went home, tried to avoid my wife in the conversation because I didn't want to talk about sin. I just wanted to like kind of like look, you know, think about this for a while. And I think that's when the transformation occurred, because I here given the option and saying, okay, you know what, you can sin, go ahead, go. And the message was like, no matter how much sin you put, God will continue to pour his grace on you. And he's been doing that all the time. So for me, I don't want to do it anymore. It's done. It just didn't feel right for me to feel like, okay, I have the option to sin, and I'm gonna go ahead and sin. He's gonna be okay with that, and I'm gonna be okay with that. I just didn't want to do it. I didn't care about it. Just wanted to like not disappoint, you know, that voice, that one voice that said, I'm your dad. All these years I've been trying to like impress my father. It doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't. And I think one of the kickers was Mike Tucci. He had a guest speaker. He came over and he's, you know, talked about this book, The Wild of Hearts. And he's talking about how we men are broken and that we yearn to be validated by our Father. So it kind of like made sense to me. I was like, everything seems to be like kind of aligning, and I kind of understand what this all means to me. I felt good about the message, and I approached Mike Tucci. I was like, it resonated, and I started going to life groups. I started serving the Easter egg hunt as a greeter, but I just didn't want the credit, because a lot of the things that I was driven was, you know, for ego, right? And the thing is like, I just didn't want that anymore. I'm through with validation. I'm through about proving myself that I'm capable. I've done that. You know, I don't want to do that anymore. But this is an experience that I wanted to serve God. And without me wanting to be validated, he validated me. And I think that's the grace part of it, right? But I really think that the real huge like kicker was a few weekends ago. I was sitting with Mike, you know, talking about baptism and the process of baptism, and he says, "So Moses, what are you, you know, how do you think Jesus sees you now?" You know, I said, "He's pleased with me," and he just like went to the scripture. He looks at Matthew 3:13. It speaks specifically to the day Jesus was baptized. He says, as Jesus came up out of the water, he heard his Father's voice say, "This is my beloved Son. In him I am well pleased." So for me to feel that without even reading the scriptures and Mike pointing that out, just it confirms a lot. Knowing that he died for us, I knew that everything in my past is just that. It's just a past. It's a history. It's a story to be told. But I think that I was just a story to show how powerful God is. And I hope that this story is not about pity. It's not about Mo. It's not about, the pat in the back. It's not that. It's about, praising God and praising how great He is.